Well, good morning. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, and I want to talk to you some this morning about bonded blocks, and we've got several other videos on bonded blocks, and this is going to be where we'll bond a block right across the front part of the person's mouth and use that to open up the bite and increase the skeletal dimension between the nose and the chin down here to give them a little more facial height, but not much more. And a very interesting case, a very good friend of mine, and he just a real nice guy. We had straightened his wife's teeth and his two children, and so I'm sure they twisted his leg to come get this done. So let's get in and show you this. And we had to retain this, and I'm going to try to impress on you how to retain a deep bite case. So let's get going with it this morning. And whoops. I'm going to have to pause this. Okay, we'll get going again with this. I'm going to show you how to do this and also how to retain it once you get it done. So let's get going, and I'm going to try to get this gentleman's face up here. All right, he has a slightly lower third of the face right here. We can increase it a little bit in that respect. He has ground his upper front teeth down tremendously. He ground them when he was in high school. I had another dentist that went to high school with him and told me that he ground them down that way. Really not all that much, and the facial structure looks very good here. A nice looking fellow. He played ball for SMU, and it was quite an athlete. Now he ground his teeth together, and he was doing this back in high school, and I'm sure in college, playing ball, and he just ground all this off. It just messed up his facial structure. Now he didn't want to mess with the lower arch much, but we needed to open the bite some, so we were to bring them down slightly, and we were going to add tooth structure to these teeth, and then have them crowned. And so we used a bonded block in the anterior part of the mouth and shaped it like teeth. And it didn't take probably about 15 or 20 minutes to shape those teeth up. Now this is the way it looked when we started with that. And here he is where he's up close. You can see how the teeth are ground down, and the whole dental structure of the teeth is shown in here. And we crowned, I didn't do it, but another restorative guy crowned these teeth up in the front part of his mouth. And we did not do anything except level the lower arch and kind of straighten it out a little. He didn't want to get into that all that way. So here the teeth are, it's hard to see somebody that ground the whole dental structure out of these teeth, but he had, and even all of this across here. So we're going to go in and kind of restore that, and we use a bonded block to do that with. And I hope everybody learns how to use those blocks. They're so handy, and you just make it with a tooth-colored acrylic that sets up. And we did the lower arch. Now we kind of intruded these teeth and gave some space down here for that. And this was 1997, I believe. So we're going to, I'll show you how long it took to do this. Now this is, I didn't go into taking pictures of doing it, but I just took some of this tooth colored acrylic and we etched the teeth completely and put some of the liquid on the teeth to get it to stick to them. And we put this acrylic up there and just had a row of acrylic in here. Now we opened the bite and had him bite down just a little bit in here and left him showing these teeth. I'm going to back up now to show you back when he would smile prior to that, you could hardly see his bottom teeth. So we're going to go in and we're going to open the bite a little bit and you will see the teeth a little more. Now we put the brackets down right on the gum on this, and this has an intruding wire that went around like this, and we brought it up and intruded, hooked it to these teeth to bring them down slightly. Not a great deal, but we leveled it out. And then we have him bite together, but didn't bring these teeth in contact back here. So we opened it up that much. And then I took a little thin metal thing, something on a deal, and moistened it with a liquid and kind of cut a little groove in here and shaped these teeth up and made them look like that. Now if you aren't used to that, maybe you can practice on something and you can shape this, and this is just lab acrylic actually, but it's tooth colored and it looks quite good on this guy. Now let's see, and I had him bite down just slightly. Now you don't lean the head back or lean it forward, you just close like you normally do right here. And just, I stopped him at a certain point in there. And then we made these and they hardened them up. And we lifted in and let him see whether he was going to click these teeth together. Now we've opened, see, these teeth were coming in contact before. So we're going to open the bite, we're going to bring these down and let this come up. So the force to intrude these teeth in the anterior part of the mouth, we get it from the back of the mouth. So if you keep that open, this raises these teeth. They have to have, now you got to remember that if you go in one direction with an arch wire, the other end of it goes in the opposite direction. So this is going to be raising these teeth. So they're all bonded in together here with the arch wire that we're putting in there, and the intruding wire goes on there. And so we activated that leveled this out and let these teeth come up in contact with the teeth in the back of the mouth, so that when we make this, we'll allow the teeth to be longer than they were. And I think I added a little material to this. You could take it away or add it in there. So we made them a little longer. And again, there's the model when we started with it. And here it is when we had, see, I added a little bit to this and brought it down. And now we'll send him to well, we worked with a restorative man, and he's going to crown all these teeth in here, and we're going to put something on the back of these teeth that keep it from wearing the lower anterior teeth down. And that's the trick I need to show you here. So these are the teeth again, and this is the bonded block, and we made a contact point here for the lower teeth, and that separated these teeth. They were not touching anything when we were doing this. Now that tells you something else. When you bite on your front teeth and you don't, your back teeth don't touch at all, then the weight is down on the condyles up here. It's on the condyles and the front teeth. Now, if somebody's got real tough joints, you can go along and they just don't chew much up on the anterior part, and it doesn't damage the disc at all back here. But if it does, you got to come in and add some blocks on the back teeth. That would be back in here, and that keeps the pressure going up through the bone structure here when you're close together, and then you let these teeth that you don't have the block on come together out here. When they're touching together, you can take your blocks off and let those teeth drop together. Now that's a trick you have to learn how to do this. Now let's go, and I'm going to erase that, and there it is. There's the lower arch, which we didn't do anything to except lower these teeth down here, and he bit in there, and these teeth were not touching anything. So the force to bring these teeth down, and this is something you need to, and it's no, absolutely, if you got a force going in one direction, like you had if this were like this, and we got a force going in this direction, there'll be the same force going in that direction. Now it's 4 times harder to intrude a tooth than it is to extrude the tooth. And when you extrude one, the bone, you do it slow, the bone comes with the teeth. But somebody who chews really hard with this, and they bite down hard, which he did, then that isn't exactly right, because you've got the muscle structure that's forcing these together. So that keeps these from raising up, and then these will go down and not increase the vertical very much at all. Now I realize this gets kind of complicated, and this is adult orthodontics, but you can do this. You mix this orthodontics with restorative dentistry, and that is adult orthodontics, and the way it ought to be done. It ought to be taught in the universities. And okay, I'm going to go on from here and eliminate that. Now, we sent him to his restorative dentist, who I worked with, and he knew what I was doing. And I had built this up and put this to where these teeth didn't come to this, and he prepared all these teeth for crowns, and now these teeth are touching back in the back of the mouth. In other words, it took us a few months' time wearing this anterior open bite device, which allowed the teeth to erupt together back in the back here. And so these were gold. We're going to make this part gold, and then we're going to put the porcelain on front of this. Right here, this is, you get a lab man or somebody who's really good at this. Now, this is the bite that we had. In other words, he was biting down to this point, and this is where these teeth are touching. They're coming together with the bottom teeth. And now he'll come back and they separate these. But this is what is on each one of the crowns that they made. And now we're going to see what that looks like. Now they made the crowns look a little bit longer than that. And you know, we had a big space here, so we closed this up, brought these teeth together, made the laterals slightly bigger, close that up, and then this was fitted into his mouth, and we cemented all of this together in there, and you can see the bottom teeth down here. Now we put the brackets right down on the gum on this, so they didn't have any interference with this, so you can learn how to do that too. So there's a lot of needing to learn in here. You don't just jump on a case like this until you have really mastered the simple stuff, or try to do that. So you're going to run into big things, and you're going to learn how to do this stuff just like you do regular orthodontics. Now this is 99, and that's 8, and that other was 7 of 97. So we've pretty well got him finished. And this is a little over 2 years doing that. And now those teeth are in place. We did, I think, 5 teeth here. I think these are 5 crowns. And he didn't feel like he wanted to spend a lot of money, so we didn't do anything to fix up the bottom other than push these teeth down a little bit while this went up. And that opened the bite, and we'll show you what it looks like after we did that. Now here, I messed up again here. Excuse me. Okay, I'm back in business again here. Now we'll show you. This is where the teeth came down to, right across here. And we did this, or his restorative did is put 5 crowns up there, and left the others pretty much like they were. Now I will erase that, and we'll get. Now this is what I wanted to bring out. Now that gentleman ground his teeth together. And if these were porcelain crowns all the way back here, they're just like a wet rock. They'll grind the teeth off. But gold, you can chew against gold, and it'll just be slick, and it's so much softer than the teeth, so it does not wear the teeth down. So he might keep this. I'm sure he's still got these going, and we did this in I think it was 97 to 99, and now it's about 23 or 4 years later, and he still has these teeth, even though he may grind his teeth together more like that. Now, if somebody you do this for, and you build a retainer for them, and if they leave the retainer out, the teeth you intruded sometimes will close back up again, and you put this in the mouth, and they'll just hit on the front teeth and back on the condyles, back in the back, and mashing the disc again, and they have to leave this out, but they think the retainer is stopped, makes the teeth hurt, but it doesn't. The retainer is just like it was, so you have to come back and put some blocks on the back teeth to let these erupt back together, and then remove the blocks, and it will stop hurting the joint. So that's something in addition to all this other stuff. Now this makes it seem extremely complicated doing adult orthodontics, but you work into this. I started out, I've been doing straightening teeth now over about 60 years. We started doing this and worked into it and learned it, a lot of this as we went along. So I'm trying to say learn it is good to learn from somebody else, but experience is your best teacher. So you got to get in there and do something and know it, and get somebody else to help you if you don't know that. Now we're trying to get the American Orthodontic Society set up to where eventually they'll be working with people all around the world through podcasts, but right now it's not effective too much. And it's primarily for general and pediatric dentists, but it is also working into doing adult orthodontics to anybody. So I thank you for watching this, and I'll show you the guy's face after we finish. There's just a smile. I mean, you can see he's got teeth. You usually didn't see the teeth at all. And then if he smiles big, his teeth look like that. So this is adult orthodontics, and it is mixed with restorative dentistry. And there are a lot of excellent restorative men, and they are not taught much orthodontics, or they don't know any of it at all if they go to some universities. So they need to learn orthodontics too. So thank you for watching, and I hope you will join our group and subscribe to our channel. And thank you again, and I'll see you in another case, the Lord willing, and they give me a few more years to work. So we got to cover some important things to me. So I'm going to hang up here and say goodbye.